The new Pokemon Pocket set Space-Time SmackDown will unleash over 140 new cards into the game. Today we're going to take a look at 5 of those cards that are guaranteed to impact the current meta. I'm Rose from TCG. Let's take a look at these cards.
Dodge it! Wait! Palucha launches a fierce attack! Weavile can barely dodge it!
Starting this off at number 5 is Weavile EX. Weavile is a 140 HP Dark-type EX with a Scratching Nails attack. This attack does 30 damage with an added 40 if the defending active Pokemon already has any damage on it. At first glance, this EX doesn't seem that strong as 30 damage for 1 Dark Energy is fine, but it's far from broken in ways required to make it meta. However, when factoring in the extra 40 damage and all the cards that can help to proc the added damage, Weavile becomes a massive problem. 70 damage for 1 energy in Pokemon Pocket is insanely efficient. Just looking at the rest of the Space-Time SmackDown set, Spiritomb, Darkrai EX, and Cyrus all have incredible synergy with the Sharp Claw Pokemon. Spiritomb can be used to instantly spread damage on turn 1, Darkrai can be used to keep up that damage throughout the mid-game while chipping damage into knockout range for Weavile, and Cyrus can be used to close out games with more control than Sabrina usually offers. On its own, Weavile isn't overly impressive, but with the amount of synergy and versatility other cards have to offer, the possibilities are endless.
A Gallade?
A wild one?
Gallade, the Blade Pokemon.
A Pokemon in this expansion that may fly under the radar is Gallade EX. Gallade is an 170 HP Fighting type EX with the Energized Blade attack. For 2 fighting energy, this attack deals 70 damage plus an additional 20 for every energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. This is a much more efficient version of the Genetic Apex Alakazam that's seen a decent amount of off-meta play. Generally speaking, 70 damage for 2 energy isn't something that would normally push a Pokemon into the meta. But within the context of the current meta, Gallade is an incredible counter to decks like Mewtwo, Gyarados, and Celebi. Pretty much everything at the top of the meta other than Pikachu has a bad matchup into Gallade. With the added help of the new Lucario, it one-shots Mewtwo EX with 2 energy attached and Arcanine EX, it one-shots a fully set up Gyarados with Lucario and Giovanni, and one-shots Celebi EX with 3 or more energy attached even without Lucario on the bench. Don't be surprised to see Gallade emerge as the premier anti-meta deck in the Space-Time SmackDown format.
Come forth, Dialga, Palkia! Everything is ready for the creation of a new world.
This new expansion has a solid collection of new supporter cards, with Cyrus being the best fill supporter. When played, Cyrus allows the user to switch in one of their opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. While it is conditional, this gives the user much more agency than the alternative Sabrina. With the amount of spread decks and bench snipers running around, there's a lot of opportunity for Cyrus to see consistent play. The synergy with the new Weavile is great, and as for pre-existing decks, Cyrus is yet another supporter that boosts the power of water decks. More specifically, any water deck that has an Articuno variant or utilizes Greninja's Water Shuriken ability. With Sabrina being a supporter staple throughout the first 2 Pocket formats, it's safe to assume Cyrus will be just as common if not more so. One of the more exciting additions to the game is the new Lucario. It seems that every set now improvements are being made to the Fighting Box deck, and this time around that comes in the form of a new staple. Lucario's Fighting Coach ability increases the attacks of your active Fighting type Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon by 20 damage. This is equivalent to playing 2 Giovanni every turn while still having a supporter available. This has great synergy with the new Gallade, both Primeapes, Marshadow, Aerodactyl EX, and Golem. Many fighting decks will at the very least have a variant that utilizes Lucario even if it's not included in the primary list.
Handle this. Garchomp!
The most threatening champion in the franchise has made her way to Pokemon Pocket, and unsurprisingly, she's super intimidating. During the turn Cynthia is played, attacks used by the user's Garchomp and Togekiss do 50 more damage to their opponent's active Pokemon. Even before breaking down the implications of this effect on Garchomp's and Togekiss's respective attacks, this effect alone completely blows other Pokemon-specific supporter cards out of the water. Even Blaine only adds 30 more damage to Pokemon with generally weaker attacks. Looking at the attack Cynthia powers up, there's no question she'll be taking over the meta. Garchomp's Dragon Claw attack does 100 damage for 1 water energy and 1 fighting energy. This is already a good enough attack to warrant using a Garchomp deck, especially with its Reckless Shearing ability. Meanwhile, Togekiss's Overdrive Smash attack does 60 damage, which is increased to 120 when used consecutively, all for only 2 psychic energy. When paired with Cynthia, Garchomp hits for 150 damage and Togekiss hits for 110 or 170, both for only 2 energy. There is a bit of balance in that it's unlikely a deck utilizing both of these Pokemon's attacks is viable since it would require 3 different energy types. Additionally, both of these Pokemon are Stage 2, which makes for slower early games compared to Blaine aggro decks. That said, once a perfect 20 is found for Cynthia and her signature partners, she'll find her place comfortably at the top of the meta. That wraps up our list. Let us know what you think of these new cards as well as what you're most excited for in the upcoming set. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our socials and join our community on Discord too. Good luck in your games and thanks for watching.